Hi guys, welcome to Kids Church Online. Last week, Danny told you a story about a man that Jesus met named Nick. Jesus told Nick that the way to have eternal life was not by doing all the right things, but by coming to Jesus, because Jesus had saved us by dying on the cross to give us eternal life. Well, this week we're going to keep reading in the book of John about Jesus. And I'm going to tell you a story about someone else that Jesus met. So, here's the story. Now, the Samaritans and the Jews did not like each other. They would not speak to each other. They would not eat together. If they were walking down the road and they were about to pass by, they'd cross the road so that they didn't have to walk near each other. Now, one day, Jesus, who's a Jew, met a woman who was a Samaritan. The woman had come into the town's well to get some water. But she didn't come in the morning when it was nice and cool and with the other women. She came in the middle of the day when it was really hot, and she came all alone. Jesus looked at the woman and asked her, "Will you give me a drink of water?" The woman was shocked. Jesus was a Jew, and he was asking her, a Samaritan, for a drink of water. Jesus smiled and said, "If you knew who I am, then you would have asked me for living water." The woman was a bit confused. Jesus didn't have anything in his hands to draw water out of the well, and the well was very, very deep. But Jesus went on, and he said to the woman, "Everyone who drinks the water from this well, they will get thirsty again. They will need to come again and again to get more and more water. But the water I offer you, you'll never get thirsty again. This living water will well up and give you life that goes on forever." Well, the woman stopped and she looked at her jar of water, and then she thought about the water that Jesus offered, and she thought, "I want his water. Then I'll never have to come to the well again." Jesus smiled at the woman, and he said, "Go and call your husband." The woman hung her head. "I have no husband," she said. Jesus looked straight at her and said, "You are right in saying that you have no husband. In fact, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you are with now is not your husband." The woman couldn't believe it. How did Jesus know all these things about her? She dropped her water jar, and the water went everywhere, and she raced back into town. And she told everyone she met, "Come and see the man who has told me everything I've ever done. Could he be the king that God has promised would come?" Now, we know what it's like to be thirsty, especially when it's hot and we've been running around at recess or lunch or at sport, and we're just dying for a drink of water. But did you know that God has made each of us thirsty for him? It's not like we want to drink God, but we all want God to know us and to love us. And like the woman, instead of going to God, we go to other things, and we try to fill our lives with other things like lots and lots of sport, or we fill it with lots and lots of gaming and new games, and we fill it with new toys and new books to read and new clothes and having lots of fun. But we don't go to the best thing. We'll only be truly happy when we come to God through Jesus. when we keep learning about Jesus, because then we will be known and loved by God. And that's why we learn about Jesus every week at Kids Church. So tune in next week and we'll see you then.